room smells of nicotine and rain. Pay by the hour just to bury the pain. I lay my head on a stained cotton ghost, thinking sleep was the one thing I needed the most. But the springs didn't hold, the fabric gave way, sucking me down to where the memories stay. Not a hole in the floor, not a crack in the tile, just a slow, heavy descent for a country mile. I tried to sit up, tried to shake off the lead, but the gravity's biting at the back of my head. I stood on the floor, felt the plaster get near. The ceiling was whispering my oldest damn fear. It wasn't the rafters coming down for the kill, it was me getting shorter, losing the will. I looked at the mattress, it was flat as a board, a silent witness to the dead I ignored. And the bed keeps sinking while you're wide awake. The surface is steady, but your soul's gonna break. Lies scream loud like a choir in the fire, but truth just waits on a silent wire. No need for a shovel, no need for the dirt. You're drowning in the weight of your own damn hurt. The mirror's too high, the door's out of reach, losing the words that I wanted to preach. It ain't the nymph and it ain't the frame, it's the hollow inside that's calling my name. I'm sinking into the man I become until the heartbeat is a muffled drum. Buried alive in a room with a view of the one thing I did that I can't undo. A metallic song, counting the seconds I've known all along. You can run for the border, you can hide in the light, but you can't escape the weight of yourself tonight. The lies out there might sing like a bird, but at the bottom of the sink, not a word is heard. Yeah, the bed keeps sinking while you're wide awake. The surface is steady, but your soul's gonna break. Lies scream loud like a choir in the fire, but truth just waits on a silent wire. No need for a shovel, no need for the dirt. You're drowning in the weight of your own damn hurt.
Final bridge crossed, the engine finally died. I walked into the waiting room with nowhere left to hide. Just a single timber throne in a house of hollow stone. I sat to rest the marrow and to claim what I should own. But the oak bit back with the fever in the grain, burning through my denim like a memory of pain. It wasn't cold, it wasn't dead, it was humming with a ghost. The seat was still holding the heat of a previous host. I stood up shaking, check the corners for a trace, looking for the shadow that just left this crooked place. No door in the plaster, no window in the wall, just the silence of the rafters answering the call. I touched the wood again, but the fever didn't break. Steady as a heartbeat, keeping me awake. It ain't cooling down, it ain't waiting for the night. It's a seat that stays warm in the absence of the light. And the chair's already warm before you ever arrive, keeping up the pulse of the ones no longer alive. Lies scream loud like a choir in the fire, but truth just waits on a silent wire. Don't look for a vacancy, don't look for a head. You're just another number in the cycle of the dead. I ran for the entrance, at the latch, but the wood is a lock that a key can never match. I turned to the room, and the chair was still there, feeding on the oxygen, breathing in the air. It wasn't made for sitting, it was made for the view of the ghost that came before and the one that follows you. I'm a tenant in a temple where the lease is never free, and the seat is still warm with the man I'm gonna be. A map, the knots are the eyes, watching every traveler who's trying to be wise. You can burn the record, you can shroud the soul, but the chair's gonna hold until the cycle is whole. The lies out there might sing like a bird, but in this waiting room, not a word is heard. Yeah, the chair's already warm before you ever arrive, keeping up the pulse of the ones no longer alive. Lies scream loud like a choir in the fire, but truth just waits on a silent wire. Don't look for a vacancy, don't look for a head. You're just another number in the cycle of the dead. Interrogation room, floor's a desert of gray.
I pulled the chain to make the witness go away. Click goes the switch, darkness for a beat. Then the sun exploded beneath my very feet. Sucking on the socket, I tore the bulb out, but the glare stayed steady, mocking every doubt. No wire in the ceiling, no lantern on the shelf, just the wide-eyed radiator of a man beside himself. I clawed at the corners, looking for a shade to hide the jagged edges of a promise I betrayed. But the lights in the concrete, the lights in the grain, bleaching out the marrow, washing out the stain. It climbed up my leather, it clung to my skin, a sterile kind of fever for a catalog of sin. I shut my eyelids tight, tried to pray for the night, but my nerves are seeing red in the belly of the bride. And the light stays on when the power is dead, counting every shadow living inside of your head. Lies scream loud like a choir in the fire, but truth just waits on a silent wire. Don't look for a corner, don't look for a run. You're caught in the glare of a never-setting sun. No shadows on the floor, no mercy on the wall. The architecture's watching every move and every fall. It ain't an eye staring, it's the room holding fast, refusing to bury the ghost of the past. I'm a man made of glass in a world made of glare, with every dirty secret hanging naked in the air. The switch is just a memory, the darkness is a lie, when the truth is a neon that refuses to die. The tungsten is biting, the voltage is high. There's no place to vomit and there's no place to cry. You can kill the electric, you can shatter the soul, but the light's gonna find where you buried the hole. The lies out there might sing like a bird, but in this white room not a word is heard. Yeah, the light stays on when the power is dead, counting every shadow living inside of your head. Lies scream loud like a choir in the fire, but truth just waits on a silent wire. Don't look for a corner, don't look for a run. You're caught in the glare of a never-setting sun. Them bolts hit home, didn't endo the frame. in a cabin built of cedar and a forgotten name. Deep in the pine choke, where the crows don't fly, I promised the shadows I'd let the world die. The wind's an old enemy, scratching at the glass, waiting for the ghost of a fever to pass. But the door's got no handle, just a face of dead wood, locking in the secrets that I never understood. Midnight came heavy, a bruise on the sky, then 3 soft raps like a knuckle on a lie. I sat in the corner, holding my breath, negotiating silence with a house full of dead. The door stayed steady, it didn't even sway, but then the knocking started from a footstep away. Behind my own shoulder, inside of the wall, the timber started waking, answering the call. And the house is knocking on the skin of the man. You can't lock out what's already in your hand. Lies scream loud, like a choir in the fire, but truth just waits on a silent wire. Go ahead and bold it, go ahead and hide, but the one who's knocking is already inside. From the knots in the floor, from the grain in the roof, the ceiling slamming down a rhythmic groove. It's a heartbeat in the plaster, a pulse in the pine, the architecture built for a debt that's mine. I spun in the kitchen, I clawed at the air, but the rapping followed me everywhere. I looked at the doorway, it was silent as a tomb, while the walls started closing the teeth of the room. Bridge the forest is watching, the stars went blind. There's nowhere to go when you're out of your mind. You can burn the blueprint, you can shred the soul, but the knocking won't stop till the wood is made whole. The lies out there might sing like a bird. Beside these walls, not a word is heard.
And the house is knocking on the skin of the man. You can't lock out what's already in your hand. Lies scream loud, like a choir in the fire, but truth just waits on a silent wire.
Go ahead and bold it, go ahead and hide, but the one who's knocking is already inside.
snapshot, locking out the light, trapped in a vertical coffin in the middle of the night. The brass button frozen, ghost in the wire, a digital countdown, a slow burning fire. 12, 11, 10, the red numbers bleed. Hungry for a memory, hungry for a deed. I hammered on the panel, I clawed at the chrome, but the cables are humming a long way from home. Screen glows bright in my trembling hand. A missed call goes from a distant land. 987, every floor that I shed is a digit disappearing from the life that I led. The signal's a shadow, the history's a lie. One bar of service left to say goodbye. But the numbers are hungry, they're eating the ghost of the one voice calling when I needed it most. And the floor keeps falling on a silent track. Time is a cage and it don't look back. Lies scream loud like a choir in the fire, but truth just waits on a silent wire. Check your empty screen, feel the heavy pull. The only way down is to pay in full. The contacts are gone, erased like a fever in the cold gray dawn. 3, 2, then the final one screams, killing the dial tone, killing the dreams. I looked at the blackness where the list used to be, just a void in the glass staring back at me. The door slid open with a hollow silver hiss to a world where the dial tone is all that you miss. The lift didn't move, but the soul went deep into the promises that I didn't keep. You can press every button, you can beg for the light, but the elevator's counting your sins tonight. The lies out there might sing like a bird, but on the bottom floor not a word is heard. Yeah, the floor keeps falling on a silent track. Time is a cage and it don't look back. Lies scream loud like a choir in the fire, truth just waits on a silent wire. Check your empty screen, feel the heavy pull. The only way down is to pay in full.